Samurai Success community, good to see you. Thank you for spending time with us today. My name is Ryan Hartley. I might be a new face. I've been part of the team now for nearly a year, and I've been helping David and the team express all the wonderful work that Samurai Success do on social media. And today I'm joined with CEO David. How are you, David?
Good, sir. Very wonderful to see you as always, man.
Yeah, great. So our intention with what we're going to do is share some insights for our great community, some hints, some tips around goal setting today. And our intention is to come back every single month, share a few little tips, and absolutely encourage our community members to share this with someone that would absolutely benefit from what we're talking about. So I've been part of this company for a year, and I've been in the personal development industry a long time, and you do things slightly differently on a number of fronts, but particularly when it comes to goal setting. I'd love for you just to give us an outline of how Samurai Success approach goal setting.
Excellent. Well, as you've experienced over this last year, we do things from a very different approach, and it's really kind of a simple approach, right? It's like, so many of us focus on, and I know for a big part of my life that I used to do this, where I would focus on what was right, what was wrong. And I started moving past that into this other dimension of what works, right? And I will tell you, it starts to eliminate a lot of the mind chatter and conversations I was having about things about how to really get focused and how to really accomplish things in this physical realm. So that's really the approach that we really focus on it. Every single subject that we cover with all of our clients and all of our community, now that we're having you on board to introduce us to this community. And so we're just really glad to be here.
I know that there are particular levels to goal setting, and the title of this video to really capture people is the three levels of goal setting. And I know that there are going to be some seasoned goal setters that are listening that are going to go, right, okay, I don't think I know it, or I think I know everything there is. And there are absolutely going to be some things that you're going to take their goal setting practice to the next level. So I'd encourage those people to stick around. But what are those levels, David?
So there's going to be three things we talk about today: the basic level, intermediate, and advanced. And we like to chunk things like that down. And the reason why is because I like to approach things like a third grader. If you can get me to understand it, then I can share it with you, right? Kind of stuff. So learn it, understand it, experience it, and then go share it with other people, teach it to other people, remind people of how these things really work. So I think as we all in this community, if you're a part of this, you're probably goal setting at some level within this. So that's what I want to have some fun with you about. If you're still at some level, but still struggling with this, today might really answer some of those real key questions that we've had experience with about why we get so much done here at Samurai Success, and why I've been able to personally get so much done in my own personal life. And people go, how the hell do you do all that? It's not magic, it's methodology. So sharing some of that today. So let's go in. Basic. So most people are going to understand most of the key concepts here. And that is the first thing you want to do with writing, setting goals is write them down. Now, the reason for this isn't because of any other reason. It's simply this: your brain does three things: it deletes, it distorts, and it generalizes. So by simply writing down your goals, you're going to have a higher probability of reaching those goals simply by writing those down. So that's the first step. Now, most of us know this. We didn't always know why we were doing this, but that's a key part of that. So writing those goals down, because it's impossible to reach a goal that you've totally forgotten about or deleted. So writing those down, key point of that. Second part is applying the SMART
Acronym.
acronym. Thank you. Acronym to the SMART acronym to each of these goals. So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely and trackable. Now, the A and the R are really important in there, just to go briefly in this, because if it really isn't attainable or realistic, when we get into the intermediate, you're going to see why this really comes to play. And for most of us that we just go, oh no, I can do all that in a year, and you just can't, and you don't know it, but then all of a sudden you're setting yourself up for disaster or not reaching your goals, right? So that's not what we want to do. Third thing is to review those goals periodically. And most people do this mostly on an annual event. Challenge with that, of course, is that when you set a goal and you only review it the following year, you tend to focus on what you didn't accomplish as opposed to what you did accomplish, anchoring into your subconscious. Goal setting isn't for me, and that's why only 3% of us do it on the entire planet.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, there's even in that basic level, there's so much goodness, isn't it? And I know in my own practices, there's too much technology. There's too much technology that's gotten me away from even the basics of writing it down. So that's definitely been such a simple reminder. Let's just I think the world is overcomplicating it. Lots of technology and like pen and paper. Let's go back to the old school. And there's results, right? There's reason to do that. It increases the likelihood of achieving those results. Wow. Okay, how do we take it to the next level?
All right, moving from basic into intermediate. Now, a lot of people will probably say this is kind of basic, but I will tell you that people talk about it, but they don't go into the level of detail that's really necessary. And that's developing a clear, detailed plan of action with every single one of your goals. They should be answering the six primary questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how, for sure. And then getting that level of detail, because in that detail is where you're really going to achieve the results. Writing the goals down, all those other things, this is where the rubber hits the road. This is where you're actually going to apply, which we talk about so much at Samurai Success. Is you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you aren't applying it, it doesn't matter. So plans of actions help you apply. The next level was to take that plan of action and the details that are in there and actually go to your planner and your calendar and actually schedule those tasks and projects from your plan of action into your planner and your calendar. Now, Dave, what's the difference between a planner and a calendar? Okay, fair enough. The planner, from our perspective, is that year-long perspective that hangs on the wall. It has every single month that you can see in all the different things that are on there. And that's the best place to place deadlines. Big rocks, we call them. The calendar is not that. It's just this thing where it's on a monthly basis or a daily basis or an hourly basis. And I will tell you, those two tools are designed very specifically to capture the larger vision and the specific, the general and the specific. And I think most of us remember the old quote that says, change begins in the general, but happens in the specific. This is where you're applying that technology, that principle. So it's very, very powerful to take your plan of action, put those deadlines in your planner, and then actually scale out the actual plan of action on different dates to be able to help you reach that. I will tell you, that singular plan of action has really changed my goal setting practice. It's a huge reason about why I'm able to accomplish so much. So please don't take it for granted. Does that
Yeah,
make
and
sense?
obviously, where we are now, at the time of recording, it's February, and this video will be relevant for anybody that meets us at any time of the year. But specifically in February, those people that have set New Year's goals, maybe now's about the time where this is really relevant because maybe the practice hasn't been there to sustain that level of focus on the goals. And there's a reason why many people don't sustain and persist, and maybe there are some clues in what you've just shared.
Awesome. So going to the advanced level now. So we now have taken the basic, the intermediate, and advanced. Now this is where it gets a little crazy for people because people haven't done a lot of this work before. They know this technology exists, but they just don't know how to always apply it. And when I discovered this through lots of trial and error, it really set the difference because everything we're going to talk about is the purpose of why I'm goal setting, the purpose of why I feel so fulfilled as a human about the things that I'm achieving. And that's when you take your goals and you actually align them with your identity, who you say you are. And I hope that really resonates with you because I did not do a fair enough job if it didn't, because this is the profound change. When you start aligning what you say you're going to do in this lifetime with who you say you are, it's a game changer. Next one of those in the advanced level is then make sure you go to an outside source of accountability. Now, here's an interesting thing about this. I think I've heard a lot of people say, well, Dave, you've got to announce your goals to people. I will tell you that is not our experience with this announcing, because if you're an entrepreneur, and a lot of the people in the community are truly entrepreneurs, I will tell you, whether you know this about you or not, you live in the future. And it's really important because a lot of the things you're talking about don't exist today, but you're the holder of the holy grail of that thing that hasn't been manifested yet. You're actually living in the future. The challenge with entrepreneurs selling their goals to people is that once you've expressed that goal, it actually dissipates the energy to achieve the goal as an entrepreneur. Other people, doesn't affect so much. But for entrepreneurs, announcing your goals to other people isn't the strategy we want to share with you. If you want to be able to do something like that, announce the structure of your goals, your plan of action, not the goal itself. Because once you announce that goal, your brain as an entrepreneur goes, I've already achieved it. No need to work on it.
That is both powerful and profound because I know the amount of times that I've bought a book and almost my brain has gone, oh, it's okay, you bought the book.
I know.
I have many books still to read, but the brain is like, oh, the energy was there to buy the book and it's gone. Brilliant. That's so powerful. I know that there's some real value in that. So would you go through that process one more time from top to bottom based on the advanced level of goals?
So I want to be specific. So I'm going to read these off to you. So you just make sure I capture everything I can. So when you're goal setting with this new, basic, intermediate, and advanced level, the new model, if you will, goal setting then becomes create your identity first.
Mhm.
Second one is align your goals with who you say you are, your identity. Inside, once you have those goals, apply smarts, review those goals. And this is taken care of basically in the plan of action and scheduling and planning on the calendar. Create a plan of action for each one of those goals, schedule the details of your plan of action in your planner and your calendar, and create an outside accountability through a trusted source. You take those elements, you are going to reach those goals in an amazing way.
That's really powerful. And the idea of creating one's identity is not a familiar practice, and that's exactly what Swords of Illumination, your book, is all about. So why might someone pick up a copy and what can they expect to find within that book?
Well, if you're asking the question, I'm like, oh, great. How do I create this identity? Well, there's an entire book about how to do that. And it's a nice segue into this because those are inside that book is 35 years of knowledge that I've really gained through experience and teachers and masters in my life to really about how this place works. Not what's right or wrong, what really does work in this place. So if you're really interested in taking your goal setting to the next level and your life to getting very purpose driven, that book will serve you well.
Amazing. We'll make sure that the link is in the description below. David, I know you're a servant. I know that you've got a bonus tip for our watchers and our listeners. What is that bonus tip?
Ah, it's I love that you said that because this is the one I forget the most. This is the one I need the most help with, and that is you've got to learn to celebrate your achievements, your goals. I mean, very specifically, you've reached this goal, right? You've just it's something you've manifested from nothingness into this place. It's part of this place now. Go and celebrate that. Now, there's two reasons for this. Well, Dave, and entrepreneurs, by the way, are really bad at celebrating because we're so far in the future. We've already expected this stuff to happen years ago. Why is it just happening now? So we're kind of disappointed because we knew this was going to happen. Nonetheless, you have to understand how your brain really works. And when you do not celebrate your successes, you do not anchor that behavior for success in the future. And the definition of success, I don't care how you want to relate to it, it's got to be duplicatable. Celebration actually teaches your brain to go and continue doing the good stuff that helps you win in this lifetime. So celebrate, celebrate, celebrate.
Love it. David, thank you for sharing your wisdom. If you've made it this far to the end, please make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll be sharing more like this every single month. And you can check out David's podcast. He's been a guest on many, many podcasts. There's a library of incredible content that's going to help you. And yeah, we'll see you the next time, David.
Thank you, Ryan. Always good seeing you.